morning, Bande Matram, welcome all of you. So this morning we are going to discuss the topic that is on cosmos. Specially, we'll relate to the Upanishadic and the Puranic systems. So this morning we are going to discuss the one of the most excellent topics that is on cosmos. The Upanishadic and the Puranic systems, specially we'll see here Virat, Hiranyagarbha, and Ishwar. Then the different sorts of things, something like our seven worlds, Tapaloka, like this, the couple of terms that is almost related to this Upanishadic and Puranic systems. So on this topic we are going to discuss it from Sri Aurobindo's philosophy. Of course, everything has been philosophized by Sri Aurobindo. He has given more concentration upon the ancient Upanishadic and Puranic time on the with relation to the cosmos right at the moment. So couple of terms we will find here very interesting, that is Virat, Hiranyagarbha, your Ishwara, then seven worlds, then Tapaloko and all. These are the basic things to be discussed in short of course in this present morning's discussion. So all we have known, also we have seen the description of Virat and Hiranyagarbha by the master in almost in the book 11 of Savitri, Hiranyagarbha, Virat. So there itself we have got the brief idea, of course, but Sri Aurobindo has quoted beautifully. That is an excellent description as described by the master in his great magnum opus, that is Savitri, the biggest Puran episode in the English literature. Before going to Savitri, we'll discuss little bit on Sri Aurobindo's this point of present view, Upanishadic and the Puranic systems of the cosmos. That's what we are going to discuss. First, we'll take the topic discussion. We'll start from Virat. Virat is the outer manifestation. Straight away, it is the outer manifestation, and if we take all the Brahmans without knowing what is behind the manifestation, we will fall into the intellectual error of the pantheism. So, Sri Aurobindo quotes in the very first line, it is the outer manifestation. So, if we take the Brahman without knowing behind the manifestation, so naturally there will be for us the intellectual error of pantheism. What should be done? Not realizing, if we are staying much on the surface, we are not going to the inner consciousness without knowing behind the manifestation, then what will be the problem? We are not realizing that a divine is more than the outer manifestation and can't be known by it alone. So divine is everything. It is almost go deep, hid within. It is hid deep within. We have to go. We have to discover. We have to touch. That is what the criteria. But if we are staying on the surface, almost on the surface or in the outward manifestation, so this idea intellectually will fall into the error, and the realization will be almost a hazy realization. Almost it is impossible. So next steer in the course about the vital. In the vital, we may fall into the error of accepting what is dark and imperfect. Initially, if we are taking the mind, we will fall into the intellectual error of pantheism. In the vital, if we are staying on the same surface, not going deep within, then chance of accepting what is dark and imperfect on the same terms as that is that which makes the light and the divine perfection. The true aim, the true attitude is actually light and a divine perfection. But if we are staying on the surface and we are considering the vital, staying on the vital, so naturally we have no option but to accept the dark and imperfect side only, that seems to be which is the contrary shape or the opposite face only. So again, so here two things have been said, that we must not stay on the surface. We have to go deep within. With this consciousness, we have to know the Brahman really is behind the outer manifestation. Or if we lose, bearing of which, losing of which, without which, naturally there will be intellectual error of pantheism. So far mind is concerned, and so with respect to vital, there will be the dark and imperfect side, losing the light and the divine perfection. Again, here in the quotes beautifully, defines this duality, two names of the same, right? Virata or Vishwa, Hiranyagarbha or Tejasa, Pragya or Ishvara. So these are the three terms Sri Aurobindo keeps quoting, and considering this Upanishadic and Puranic systems and the gods, Sri Aurobindo brings two words for the same with same meaning for one, and Sri Aurobindo quotes and tries to explain the two sets of three names. Virat or Vishwa, Hiranyagarbha or Tejas, Pragya or Ishvara. Two sets of three names which each means the same thing. There is no distinction between Virat and Vishwa, Hiranyagarbha and Tejas, and Pragya and Ishvara. Same thing, same meaning, only two names for the same. And here Sri Aurobindo tries to quote it, Vishwa or Virata, the number first one Sri Aurobindo tries to explain the spirit of the external universe. Second, Hiranyagarbha or Tejas, Tejas means that luminous. So spirit of the inner planes. Virat, external universe. This Hiranyagarbha represents the inner planes, and Pragya or Ishvara, that is the superconscient spirit, master of all things and higher self on which all depends. The mental can't be Ishvara. So Ishvara, whole divide or Pragya, it actually indicates the superconscient spirit. It is the external consciousness, the inner consciousness, and the superconscient consciousness accordingly. External consciousness Virat, inner consciousness that is Hiranyagarbha, and Ishvara that is superconscient. They are meant by Vaishwanara, Tejasa, or Pragya, that is described better in Mandukya Upanishad. Again, the term waking, dream, and sleep. Again, three terms we are getting: waking, dream, and sleep are applied because ordinary consciousness of the man is ordinarily only awake. Only awake in the ordinary consciousness, it has not got deep within. Second, the inner being is mostly subliminal. Third, then acts directly on the state of sleep when the movements are felt like things of the dream or vision. That is the second. External, it is only awaking. Internally, we will go, that is mostly subliminal. We feel like dream and the vision. Then comes superconscient. It is related to supermind and overmind, highest, almost highest state of consciousness, and beyond even that range, and even to make them one deep sleep. So these are the three things. So we have considering so far this Upanishadic and the Puranic system is concerned. We think see three sets of names for the same. For the one, we have got the sets of name like Virat or Vishwa, Hiranyagarbha or Tejas, or Pragya or Ishvara. So after we have seen that waking, sleep, and waking, dream, and sleep. Again, also we have seen the external consciousness, inner consciousness, and the superconscient. So considering the things, we are going step by step on the three sets of things that we see. Again, Sri Aurobindo quotes another term Sri Aurobindo adds into these three, and that is actually Kutastha. So, Vishwanara, Tejasa, Pragya, and Kutastha. Sri Aurobindo explains it beautifully. But why do you want to connect these things with the soul? Because soul, that is a different history. Why do you try to mix it? The four names like Vaishwanara, Tejasa, Pragya, and Kutastha given to four conditions of the transcendent and universal Brahman or self. These four sets of names given to the four conditions of the transcendent and universal Brahman or self, universal Brahman or self. They are merely the conditions of the being, the conscious and the consciousness. The self, step by step, here in the tries to explain. The self that supports the waking state or Stula consciousness. Number two, the self that supports the dream state or subtle consciousness. The self that supports the deep sleep state or causal consciousness. Then Karana and the self that is the supracosmic consciousness. So these four are described like this. One is the self that supports the waking state or Stula consciousness. The self that supports the dream state or subtle consciousness. Second, that is Tejasa. After number one is first, that is we see Virat. The self that supports the deep sleep state or causal consciousness, that is Pragya, Ishvara. And then Karana or self, the superconscient consciousness. The individual, of course, participates, and there are conditions of the self, not the self and soul. Conditions of the self, not soul. That is the meaning of this expression is fixed in the Mandukya Upanishad. So again, we'll go for the another term before going to Savitri. Is Sri Aurobindo quotes Karana, Hiranyagarbha, and Virat. Three planes. Three planes. Sri Aurobindo quotes of the three planes beautifully. These are the things. The parallel between this Vijnana or Karana Jagat in the Upanishad presided over by the Prajna, equated with the Susupti. So this is presided by the Prajna, we know Prajna, Iswara, and equated with the Susupti, that is what, and as the Hiranyagarbha world, world with Swapna and things subtle, does not equate with the my, all these are Sri Aurobindo quotes. It is nothing to do and nothing to be compared with the supermind, as Sri Aurobindo has quoted. I have brought supermind and transformation for the yogic development again. But it might be said that a normal mind approaching or entering the supramental planes, normal mind, it is the actually latest, the least position of the supermind. When it is actually this ordinary mind approaching or entering the supramental plane, it becomes the state of susupti. That is what is required. Ordinary mind, when it is reaching there, it becomes the sleep of supermind. So supermental state appears to be untransformed mind, to the untransformed mind when it touches or apprehends, for it falls inevitably into such a superconscient sleep. Then the different will be cured. So before going further, we'll see what how Sri Aurobindo quotes the beautifully the two these terms. Sri Aurobindo has quoted beautifully. That is actually Virat, who lights the campfires in the suns. Virat, who lights his campfires in the suns, and the star entangled ether is his hold. Fantastic definition. So star entangled ether is his hold. Expressed himself with matter for his speech. Objects are his letters, forces are his words. Just imagine how fantastically Sri Aurobindo has clarified. And the sea and the land are the pages for his tale. Matter is his means and his spiritual sign. Just imagine, the world creates inevitably, for its body is the body of the Lord. And in its heart stands King Virat, the King of Kings. So again, the Hiranyagarbha is fantastically in this interesting way. Sri Aurobindo has actually explained the Hiranyagarbha. The author of thoughts and dreams, who sees the invisible and hears the sound that never visited a mortal ear. Never visited a mortal ear. He is actually that hears the sound. Who? Hiranyagarbha hears the sound. That sound has never touched the human ear till now. Discoverer of the unthought realities. Realities unthought. That is the that is being discovered can be discovered by Hiranyagarbha. Then again, a seer, he has entered the forbidden realms. A seer, he has entered the forbidden realms. A magician with the omnipotent wand of thought, he builds the secret uncreated worlds. He builds secret uncreated worlds. Then he is the carrier of the hidden fire. He is the voice of the ineffable. He is the invisible hunter of the light. Fantastic definition, the description. The angel of the mysterious ecstasy, the conqueror of the kingdoms of the soul. That is fantastically ornated and decorated and described by Sri Aurobindo and Hiranyagarbha and of course Virat. Then Sri Aurobindo quotes of the seven worlds, Bhur, Bhubaneswar, that is physical, mental, and physical, vital, and mental. Then comes Mahat, that is Vijnana or supramental. Again comes Jana, that is Ananda world. Tapaha, world of Chit, Tapas, Satya, the world of Sat. So last three, Jana, Tapa, Satya, these are the Sachitananda worlds, and in between that is called the supramental. So Sri Aurobindo quotes Bhuva Loka, not the part of the material universe. It is the vital world that is gone by the name, gone by that name. Then Dyuloka, mind world. Bhuvaloka, that is the vital world. Bhurloka, that is the material world. Surgaloka, the higher region of the Dyuloka, and can be regarded as the identical with it. Again, Tapaloka, original, that is actually Chit, and its power is Tapas. But there are worlds of Tapasa on the other planes below also. So these are the description finally described by Sri Aurobindo regarding the cosmos in the Upanishadic and the Puranic systems.